Howdy folks, and welcome back to Death Parade. Today we're going to be watching episode 2, Death Reverse. And I have a couple things to say about the first episode, some things that I've noticed in editing. I put a little note in there in the last video, but I noticed a couple things that kind of change the meaning of things completely, that I got some details wrong as I initially watched it, and it makes things honestly a little more interesting. I am having trouble remembering the names of the husband and wife in the last episode. My apologies, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to call them the husband and the wife. Initially, when they came down, the two elevators have a mask with horns, like a little kind of a devil head, and a mask with not that, like a lighter kind of face. When they initially came down, the husband was in the elevator with the horns. But when they went back up, they had swapped. I did notice that the wife who had won the game rode back up in the same position in the elevator, but the masks had swapped. So she was indeed with the one with the horns, and I think I mixed up the names, and she is the one whose soul got sent to the void, and the husband was sent for reincarnation, basically. So despite the fact that the wife won the game, so to speak, when she, hit the bullseye right in the heart, in the last one, she still got sent to the void, which seems like the punishment of the two, right? Like, don't you strive to be reincarnated, or that's sort of a blessing that you get to live on in another form kind of thing? I'm not super familiar with the kind of religious implications of reincarnation, all that kind of stuff, but being sent to the void certainly seems like a punishment to me, even though the husband lost the game. And if I'm wrong on that, please let me know. I'm recording this before the first episode hit the main feed, so hey, regardless, thanks for watching the first episode. Hopefully it did okay, numbers-wise. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting, so I think it lends a little credence to what I think I had said at one point, like maybe it's not necessarily about the game itself, but what comes out during the game. Because when they first got down there, they were both kind of calm and collected for the most part until the game actually started and the accusations started kind of being thrown. Deckham, though, I noticed while editing, there's a lot of shots of him just kind of like, he doesn't really say much during the games, right? But there's a lot of like cutaways to him as he's just kind of like looking, or you'll see his eyes kind of shift a little bit. And part of me, I want to pay attention to when they show him and what's being said or anything, because it feels like they kind of cut to him whenever he's like maybe changing his sway over like who he's more in favor of, so to speak. Because they kind of would cut away to him whenever, the husband accused her of cheating, or the wife said like, actually I was cheating. And hey, how many of those were actually lies or truths? Who knows? But I'm gonna pay attention to those little cutaways because I think that's kind of important. But just as far as Deckham goes in general, I really like his design. I've always been a fan of like the kind of, I guess he's more lawful neutral than true neutral, but just kind of like the true neutral, kind of really stoic, unmovable kind of archetype. I rolled up a D&D character years and years ago that was like, I think she was true neutral, but it was like basically a bard that like didn't party or didn't do any of the typical bard stuff that bards get up to. That she was just kind of a really stoic kind of like stone face kind of thing who was just super good at what she does. And I get kind of those vibes from him. Like he's very, very stoic, doesn't say a lot, doesn't give up a lot of information, is just there to do his job. And I think he's really interesting. I hope we get a little more of the other, I'm assuming employees, so to speak, the other arbiters in training. Who knows? I'm hoping we find out more about them in this episode, but I'm really excited to watch. So as I scooch over into position, hey, thanks for watching this video. I thanked you for watching the last one, but hey, thanks for watching this one too. Do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And I don't think I said so last time, but channel memberships are available to you if you would like somewhat early access to these. I strive to get thgoing up at least a week in advance, but the fact that I'm kind of suddenly shifting to this series, it's more like 4 or 5 days if I can get it up. I'm going to be focusing on editing this one next. Doesn't matter for you when you're seeing this on the main feed, but click the join button if you want somewhat early access to these. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of Death Parade, Death Reverse, starting up in 3, 2, 1, go. just water for this reaction. Though I do kind of want to step my cocktail game up and, you know, make a fancy cocktail or two for a couple of these. I hope I changed the audio back to Japanese, too.
Ohayo.
Morning. I did.
Nona. Anata wa?
Nona? Does she remember? She's dead. Okay, so we potentially do get a little more of those. I noticed with Decim, I noticed his eyes kind of looking like casino chip-like. Nona's eyes did look kind of the same, but the unnamed one didn't. So I think that's interesting. Maybe the longer you're there, like your eyes change as you become more adept to your job. Who knows? Just a theory for now. Yeah, while the OP is still playing, I did check out the English dub of this because there is an English dub. The husband and wife characters sounded like they were pretty well acted, but Decim himself, I think I prefer his Japanese voice. It's a little deeper. The English voice actor just kind of seemed to be doing this thing where he just speaks like this. Whereas Decim in Japanese has a way deeper voice. It sounds a lot more intimidating, so to speak. So I definitely prefer the Japanese voice for him. But like I said, the husband and wife seemed to be pretty well acted in English. So that's my 2 cents on the dub for now, for the all of the 30 seconds that I watched it. So we caught a glimpse of this train in the... they had a little next time on kind of thing at the end that I completely cut out. 15th floor. So is this like a whole like hotel or something? Multiple levels to the afterlife? I will say I was kind of just expecting the whole series to be set in this bar. I like how, you know, the bar itself is so like fantastical looking on the inside, super well decorated, like a fancy lounge kind of thing. And this is just like, you know, brick walls with the paint chipping off of them, everything like super dingy looking. I love the contrast. Arigato, sayonara. I hope that was correct. I love just any shot in any animated show that like changes the perspective as it zooms out or in or something like that. Like, those shots just do it for me. So I wonder if we're not going to get a game in this one. Okay, maybe we are going to get a game. Oh, this probably takes place before the last episode. I'm glad I caught that post-credit scene. I did watch a couple reactions to the first episode of this, and one of them caught it and the other didn't. So make that 2 in the column of catching it, as far as reactions I've both watched and experienced. Oh, it looks like a film reel now. That's interesting. Also, maybe a little bit of like a kind of like an inverted 4-leaf clover kind of design. It's so interesting. Watch and observe and learn. You know, honestly, maybe better to be an assistant here than you know, one of the judged. Is it gonna be like a surveillance room? Yeah, we just keep those here. Oh, they're dummies. Ooh, what a pastime. Yeah, I agree completely. Wonder if some of the dummies are going to reenact what was happening last time. This is already like opening the world up so more than I expected it to ever. Well, oh, so that's okay. That's when the bar opened up and they could see. Newlywed and newly dead. Nice. Well, silly me saying in the last one, like, these guys are never going to show up in another episode. Here they are. Okay, so those weren't corpses back there. Those were just dummies. Yeah. They're trying to create the extreme conditions.
ゲーム中に訪れる極度の緊張状態のこと。主に精神的。
That's when they let us know who they truly are, right?
次行くわよ。人間の記憶だけで最低なんてできない。心の闇をできるだけ吐かせた上で、最低者がそれを。
Yeah, there we go. It's exactly like I said, right? That's when we first pass judgment. Interesting.
納得できない。受けたら殺されるかもって思ってる。そんなこと誰も。そう、言ってない。でも考えてしまう。
Okay, so that's one thing I was wondering. Okay, I was wondering if they like purposely show them those visions or anything like that. I guess that was just his like imagination running wild. Also, I love in shows when you can kind of see the same events from a different perspective. Yes, it's a way they can kind of reuse animation, right? And voice acting and all that kind of stuff, but it's always interesting to get like someone else's perspective on a thing. Okay. Interesting, good to know. Gotcha. Okay. So them remembering stuff just... Okay. They're conditioned to do that. Interesting stuff. I love that we... You know, I will say it's not as tense as the first episode because we know the outcome already, right? But, you know, it's just interesting to kind of get the backstory here kind of so soon into the series. Okay. Okay. They're sent to the void, their soul is lost. Okay, so yeah, so the void is the bad outcome. Got it. So that once again aligns with what I was saying and thinking. I will say, like, as much as I felt like I was cutting down the first episode, like I feel like this one's just going to be a little more cut down, given the fact that there's so much reused commonality stuff between the two of them. Okay, yeah, so there's the switched elevator masks that I had noticed earlier. Okay, so this is where the post-credit scene just like cut right here. So perhaps we're gonna get more stuff. Hey, I saw a butt on there. Ah, she's already learning. Okay, so there's a bit of lie and a bit of truth in it, potentially. She's learning real quick, isn't she? And once again, that same kind of split screen kind of shot with her and the two of them being on separate ends of this kind of argument, so to speak. Oh. Interesting. But would that have changed the decision, though? Dang, I really should have made a cocktail for this one, shouldn't I have? Cheers. It's my neat to water. Out of a... I don't even know what you would call this kind of glass. I'm the best bartender the afterlife has to offer. Well, hey, at least he makes the good drinks. You know, grab the glasses when the drinks are empty. Bar back. How many assistants have they gone through then? There's no way he would have ever found happiness. Yeah, I mean, if it was eating at him for that was gonna eat at him for the rest of his life. She has a ways to go. Yeah, there you go. Not necessarily putting her down, right? The episode just ends before she can ask it again. Dang, getting toasty on the job. Lucky. What? Pretty much just character work between... we pretty much got what I wanted. We got more of the stuff of the other people who work there. I guess, I don't know if Nona doesn't seem to necessarily work there. She just kind of dropped off. God, I don't even know if we got a name for the third one, the one with the black hair with the, what was it, a silver streak in there? I don't know if I want to say mixed feelings about this episode because it was like, you know, it was just another perspective of the stuff we saw last time. So there's no real like tension there. It was just more so kind of learning the rules of this place and getting to know our characters a little more. Because like I said, Deckham didn't really give us much in the first episode. He was just kind of stoic and stone-faced, whereas here we kind of learned why and kind of what he's thinking and what he's doing the whole time. The term is for 3 months. Okay. How dare you bring me somebody who's going to backtalk me on her first day. Looks like a nice place for the afterlife, though. Seems peaceful enough. Okay, so this is the next on, so I'm gonna... Well, it looks like we do get a new couple next time. I'm not gonna watch the next on because I want to be surprised. But yeah, like I said, it's hard to, you know, be super excited about this one just because it was, you know, a lot of exposition, a lot of backstory. The game was a game we had already seen. It was just kind of interesting to kind of lay the ground rules now that we've seen one of the games play out. I don't think I said this in the intro, but I was thinking that we were probably going to get some kind of a bit of a running storyline with kind of our main cast while, you know, couples come in and out and play the games and judgments happen and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what it seems. I wonder if it's going to take place over the 3 months that Nona had said. And what our third character, whose name I don't want to look up if she has a name because I really don't think they gave one. She asked her if she knew a name, and I don't think we ever got any kind of a confirmation or, oh, your name is blank. So for now, I'm just going to call her the third one, or I guess the assistant. I'm wondering if we're going to get like sort of just a character arc for the assistant. That's kind of what it feels like is being set up here, whether she's going to come to accept and like it here or change the way things are done or even just change Deckham's way of thinking about things. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities for how this could go. I don't think it's going to end with her, like, you know, essentially becoming the new Deckham, but it potentially could if she shows a real aptitude for it. Maybe maybe the two of them play a game in the last episode and she wins and becomes the new bartender and Deckham goes to the void. Who knows? That feels like a long shot to me, but it also feels like maybe it could happen. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like I got most of my thoughts out of there during the ED playing, so I feel like I don't have too many other things to say. So like I said, the episode itself is probably going to be trimmed down a whole heck of a lot because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of reused stuff there from the game that we saw last time. But yeah, cool to know kind of the rules and everything, and I kind of... Let's see. So she went to the void. So yeah, so she did cheat on her husband, or I guess at the time her fiance. But yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, if you have to pick one to choose, like, he seems like he was very mistrustful. Like, you know, with Nona saying she has a long way to go for the assistant. Takashi has a long ways to go as well in life. So hey, hopefully in his second chance here, he, you know, does it a little better this time around. Maybe he was dealt a bit of a bum hand because, like I said, she did cheat on him. That I think that's morally reprehensible. But yeah, he also is very, very untrustworthy. So I mean, it could go either way, and at least it's a complicated issue. It's not as cut and dry as like, well, this guy was a complete piece of shit, you know, and deserves to go to the void. Like, at least there's a little bit on both sides there. But yeah, interesting stuff. Real excited to see another game in the next one. And, you know, if my 9 games kind of theory is correct, we're probably going to get 2 more episodes here at some point of no game being played and more just kind of background story stuff with Decim, Nona, and the new assistant. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, that's all I got. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of this episode, any other anime recommendations you might want to see me do sometime down the line. And yeah, that's about all I got. So come back next time for another deadly game, so to speak, with Rolling Ballade, B-A-L-L-A-D-E. Not 100% sure, but you know, bowling perhaps. I think I saw that pop up in the OP. They kind of flash a bunch of games there. I think bowling might be what we get next time, but hey, tune in next time to find out. So anyway, until then, I'll catch you with some more Death Parade. Take it easy, everybody.